weight. The bar's got that swing. Glasses clink, hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie. Chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun still shine, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Vasalud and happy Friday. Yes, it's Whatchu Sippin on Friday. You know what that means. I'm going to be talking about what I'm planning on drinking tonight. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that drink. And I want to hear what you all are sipping on, whether it's an adult beverage or otherwise. I understand there are plenty of reasons not to imbibe. But you know, just wondering what you're having today for lunch. So let us start by saying hi to all of you who have come to join me today. Starting with Lynn Green, who says, mow the lawn, liquid lunch, having some pink lemonade. Sounds like a good choice to me. And Big Al Presents says, hello, my friends, sipping on a sweet tea. Enjoy your show. Yes, looking forward to yours tomorrow. Films with Friends, Zorro the Gay Blade. Very much looking forward to that. We will be talking more about that in the promo section a little bit later. Netter, of course, the love of my life, tells me I'm the love of her life. And she says to like, share, subscribe, become a member. If you're already a member, maybe buy a membership for someone else, because the more we grow this community, well, let's face it, the better this community is, right? You guys are showing what a wonderful community you are right now in the chat. Rosefire says, happy Friday, everybody. Got a little tummy ache now, so sticking to green tea and a touch of mint. I said she might want to get a little bit of ginger in there as well. That might help. but talk about family and community. Thank you for your prayers and kind words, she says to Netter. Thank goodness family and friends are better and doing okay now. Glad you guys are looking out for each other. I really, really am. That means the world to me. That's why I want this community to grow. Hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, I do hope that you enjoy the show. Speaking of what y'all sipping on, I know Netter is having the same as I am today because I just gave her her drink. Jonathan Conroy is having an iced coffee. Always good, always good. Rosefire says, P.S. I did make the rum cake, but haven't tasted it yet because once a slice of cake is cut, the rest of it disappears quickly. Yes, and it will keep well as long as it is basted in rum. Aged Boomer, welcome, welcome. He's sipping on a Bloody Mary. How awesome is that? Today's lunch is Rocky Mountain oysters. I've never had them before, but an oyster is an oyster, right? How many oceans are there in the Rocky Mountains? Let's just consider that. Same reason I haven't made that pan of brownies. Yeah. Brownies. Oh gosh, that sounds good. Brownies are the yum. And you know what else is the yum? A Cosmopolitan. So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, I am going to try to keep this a little bit shorter than usual. I'm definitely not going to run long because at the end of today's stream, I will be forwarding you guys to Wilkie's Movies and Music for his Friday lunchtime cinema. So please, when you head over there, stop in, say hi, tell him I sent you. Let's see here. Let's go to the share screen and let's bring this up. Share my screen without sound so you don't get an echo. You don't need to hear me twice. Once is bad enough, I should imagine. And here we go. The link is down below. This comes from Tom Macy's Cocktails, talking about the Cosmopolitan. The Cosmopolitan is easily the most famous cocktail created in the last 50 years. It's so well known, most everyone calls it by a nickname. A Cosmo is pretty much a vodka margarita with an ounce of cranberry juice. Okay, I can see that. If you go citrus heavy enough, it's a margarita. Okay, sure. Which imprints its trademark shade of pink. Some go more than others. This drink is often dismissed by some drinkers, aka men, because they think it's too sweet, or for its association with a certain TV show, or purely because it's pink. And I don't know. It is pink technically, but I'm not real good with the names of colors, but this is more towards the red than to the pink. I would say it's I don't know. I don't know colors. I'm sure there's a color for something that's closer to the red and less pink, but there you go. I've already discussed how I feel about, and of course this is the writer speaking, how I feel about these types of gender-biased cocktail drinkers. All I say here is that when well made, the Cosmo is tasty as anything. Strong, fruity, citrusy, not too sweet, and very refreshing. Yes, I have a difficult time with the whole concept of masculinity and femininity when it comes to drinking. Booze is booze, in my opinion, and it's whatever you happen to like. I did see another name pop in here. Yes, JPRPH1. channel member and much appreciated. Thank you for being here, my friend. Are cranberries grown outside the U.S. anywhere? Maybe someone could Google that up for me while I'm going through this article. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It would shock me to find out that cranberries aren't grown anywhere in Europe, but that may be the case. I don't know. Things can go awry, of course. If you use too much sugar, it erases the tartness of the cranberry, and the drinks taste like nondescript fruity candy. That's why Cointreau is so important, as opposed to lower quality triple sec orange liqueurs. Yeah, there's a little bit of an ad there. As for the cranberry juice, Ocean Spray is commonly used as it is the easiest to find. It's how I typically chose to incorporate cranberry into a drink. An ingredient using this in drinks, see port of call, but here it works. Unsweetened cranberry juice, such as just cranberry, works great too, and imparts an attractive deep pink color. You just need to adjust the recipe for balance. It's included versions for both below, and both are delicious. So here we have a recipe using sweetened and unsweetened cranberry juice. Obviously, you're going to vary the amount of simple syrup based on whether or not you're using pure cranberry or a cranberry juice cocktail or something like that. Oh, wait a minute. In Canada, so yes, they do make they do grow them in Canada. So are there any outside of North America? Saw the movie 28 years later. Would love to know what you think about that, Chester. Was it a good movie? In 2022, world production of cranberry was 582,924 tons, with the United States and Canada together accounting for 99% of the total. So it does sound like it's made, they are grown outside the continental United States, but only about 1% of them are grown outside of the continental United States and Canada. So I should have said North America. So thank you very much for you research people out there. What is this about flavored vodka? Yeah. Oh, this is probably the only flavored vodka you'll see in a recipe on this site. So in other words, a citrus flavored vodka. Generally, my opinion of flavored vodka is what you'd expect. I don't think much of it. Here though, adding lemon flavor to a vodka is not so tragic. It actually tastes like lemon rather than lemon peel, in a limoncello-ish way. Most importantly, it enhances the drink's flavor. Absolute Citron was the original brand used in the Cosmopolitan. I often use Stoli citrus, but every vodka brand makes a citrus flavor, and I'm sure any of them is just fine. That all being said, traditional vodka works great in a Cosmo too. Maybe use a lemon peel instead of an orange for garnish. Okay, excuse me. They are also grown in Germany. I wonder if Germany accounts for all the other 1% of the world's output. Just ask Alexa. Yeah, I could have done that. I didn't think of that. What did you think of the... Oh, yeah. I've heard mixed results about 28 days later, too, Chester. So let us know while we look at the history of the Cosmo. The Cosmopolitan's history is one of extremes. In the 90s, it was most popular cocktail in the world. In the 2000s, it was the poster child for unsophistication. As is the case with just about every cocktail origin story, the details of the Cosmo's exact inception is a bit murky. One of the most circulated stories is that a bartender named Cheryl Cook created the first version of it while working at a bar in South Beach, Florida. Another is the drink rose out of the gay community, Provincetown, Massachusetts. There is probably some truth to one or both of these claims, but I go by the approach taken by Robert Simpson's 2016 book on the rise of modern cocktail culture, A Proper Drink. Instead of focusing on the specific moment someone put together a rough assembly of vodka, orange liqueur, and cranberry juice and called it a Cosmopolitan, he zeroes in on who created the version of it that went on to take over the world. Fair enough. That person is Toby Kacheni. In 1988, while working at the Odeon in the trendy Tribeca, New York, Toby encountered a version of the Cosmo by way of San Francisco that contained Rose's lime juice and grenadine. Grenadine. He refashioned a balanced version with fresh lime, Cointreau, and Absolute Citron. Well, that's much better. Which had just come out that year and served it as a staff drink. Before long, consumers began asking for it, and it went on the menu. That match was lit. Incidentally, Toby now owns a bar called Long Island Bar. That's about a 15-minute walk from the Clover Club. From there, the drink spread to higher and higher profiles. A big jump occurred when Dale DeGroff, a minor cocktail pioneer who've I've mentioned multiple times on this site, particularly on the Bourbon Smash page, began serving Cosmos at the Rainbow Room. He often tells the story of how Madonna was photographed drinking one there after a Grammy party, and it ended up in the New York Post. Of course, as we all know, once it became the signature libation of the girls on Sex and the City, there was no going back. From that point on, a giant martini glass filled with pink liquid would be one of the most emblematic images of the 90s. Speaking of which, I have a theory about those glasses, which is based on no evidence whatsoever. I think because Cosmos are such large drinks, volume-wise, they are responsible for the ridiculously enormous 10 to 12 ounce martini glasses that were everywhere in the 80s and 90s. So annoying, a classic martini looks minuscule in them. But I digress, which is also why I tend to be a little bit more conservative in my consumption of a... I do think of it very much like a martini. I know how he described it earlier as being a margarita with a little bit of cranberry juice added to it. But really, I don't think you're putting that much citron into it that much triple sec into it to make it anything like a margarita. I do think it's more like it is more like a vodka martini in its ratios, at least the way I make it. And a drive-by drive-by high from Curtis Selby. Welcome, my friend. But yes, we digress. The Cosmos dominance was not to last, just as it hit the big time. And I'm reading this for the first time with all of you. I'm going to speculate that when a drink or any fashion becomes popular because of a television show, it's only going to last as long as that television show is popular. As the television show begins to wane in its popularity, so too will all the trappings of it. Unless it's something that is so iconic and so already a part of culture and addiction that you can't remove it. Like, even though many of us diehard fans of Twin Peaks will never stop loving Twin Peaks and talking about it and discussing it as we do every Tuesday at 7:30 on Deleted Scenes channel. Coffee is not going to go out of vogue. It just isn't, I confess I got interested in chai and tea overall thanks to Dr. Suresh on Heroes. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I think there's a lot of people that drink vodka martinis, shaken, not stirred, because of James Bond, when, a lot of us real, true, diehard James Bond fans that go beyond the books, I digress. I have a whole video about that. We talked about this a number of weeks ago. But let's see. So the Cosmo's dominance was not to last. Just as it hit the big time, forces were at work that would eventually undermine it. As the interest in classic cocktails grew, blossomed, and then exploded over the course of the 2000s, the Cosmo experienced a severe backlash. One reason for this is that it contained a flavored vodka and cranberry juice. Both were viewed as artificial ingredients, which were against the tenets of the cocktail revival. But even more damning was its image. Wait, before we get on to that, if you have an issue with a flavored vodka, if you have an issue with an artificially sweetened juice, just be holistic about it. Get yourself a pure vodka and infuse it as you choose, right? As he mentioned earlier in the flavored vodka portion that we just looked at. If you don't like, artificially sweetened fruit juices, don't buy, the cranberry juice cocktail in the plastic container that you find in the juice aisle. Get real cranberry juice, You can do that. You are the bartender. You make the drink the way you like. But now I digress. Where was I? Because it was the world's most popular cocktail before the shift towards craft cocktails occurred, the Cosmo was branded as a symbol of the age of unsophisticated, overly sweet drinks. It became a punchline. One of my favorite analogies is from the VinePair article that doesn't get anything quite right, which calls the Cosmo the Backstreet Boys of cocktails. That's very clever. I see why they would make that analogy. But again, I will always defend whether or not I like a drink, whether or not, if you choose to take and make a gin martini and shake it and aerate it, thereby losing all of the infusion light notes, the floral notes that you would have in a gin. If you're enjoying it, enjoy it. If you like sweet, drink sweet. If you like harsh, hot going down, go for that. Some people like really, really spicy peppers. Others like sweet peppers. Some people like salty snacks. Some people like sweet snacks. It's all what you enjoy. Enjoy what you enjoy is what I'm basically getting at. A personal anecdote. I remember going out for a cocktail with my dad in 2003. Of course, again, this is the author of this article speaking. I never had a cocktail with my dad. When I first moved to New York City, I was 19. And at the time, my dad is awesome. His dad is awesome. Again, not mine. He's always been interested in cocktails and no doubt read about the drink somewhere and ordered one. I was totally embarrassed and told him it was a girly drink that no one should order. I have no idea where I got that idea from, and I don't think I'd ever had a Cosmo before. Until then, there it is. I thought it was until then, that is. There should have been a comma after then. I thought it was delicious. Actually, I would have started another sentence there, but I didn't admit it. I'm an idiot. You were 19 years old. Every 19-year-old is an idiot, if you're honest. When I got into cocktails 5 years later, I still had the same opinion of the Cosmo, but I've changed my tune. I think the Cosmo has been unfairly treated. It's important to remember to keep it in context. It emerged following the true cocktail dark ages of the 60s and 70s. The Cosmo was the first sign of a pulse that cocktails were attracting interest again, and it carried the torch in the years leading up to the cocktail revival. In many ways, it was ahead of its time. Perhaps most importantly, it's a damn good drink. It does not deserve to be lumped alongside with Sex on the Beach, Fuzzy Navel, and Long Island Iced Tea of the worlds. I kind of like Long Island Iced Teas. Sex on the Beach and Fuzzy Navels do start getting more towards like a dessert more than a cocktail. I mean, yeah. Thankfully, now that the cocktail revival is a couple decades old, things are more relaxed and bartenders have begun to realize that we may have projected our condemnations a bit too broadly. To be sure, some drinks deserved to be forgotten. I personally find nothing redeeming about the Long Island iced teas. I kind of like the history behind that. Maybe we'll do a Long Island iced tea one Friday. But others just need to be made better. For example, drinks like the Mai Tai, Pina Colada, and frozen drinks in general can be fantastic. I place the Cosmopolitan firmly in the camp of the latter. It would be interesting to make a Cosmo in the way that you would make a frozen drink like a margarita. Blended with ice would be very interesting. And there's nothing so delicate about it that you couldn't do that. Reminds me of the Screw Tape letters. I'm going to be interested to see how you make this connection. No need to use vice to destroy a man's soul. Just make him think he needs to have the right books, foods, hobbies, all his life instead of what he enjoys. Wow. That is incredibly profound, way beyond talking about cocktails. We could apply that to how Hollywood is trying to push Pedro Pascal on everybody. Just my thoughts. Connie Cleary, salute. Good to see you. You know what? Since I did take a pause for the comments, I am going to interject the week's promos real quick. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Big Al presents the 1981 screwball comedy Zorro the Gay Blade. Big Al presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Big Al Presents.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Pop Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Live from Sparkwood and 21, we'll be taking a drive down David Lynch's Lost Highway. Link to the off-platform live feed of the feature will be provided in the commentary stream chat. Join us this Tuesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates.
With the chance of ever returning to Auron gone, Callie is feeling alone and vulnerable. Then, an alien life force reaches out to her mind from its tomb in space. It's Sarcophagus. This Tuesday on Last Call presents Blake 7 at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Welcome to Sid's Corner, who says, I came in just as the ad for Nerd's Network was playing, and I saw my face. I was confused at first. There you go. See, you were a guest, you know, and we like to remember that. You are part of the promo. So there you go. Welcome, Sid's Corner. We were just wrapping up our discussion of the history and analysis of the Cosmopolitan. So, today, just about any cocktail bartender... I think I already got into this. You make one... let's try that again. Today, just about any cocktail bartender will have no problem making a Cosmo and will readily admit it's a good drink. Many even jump to its defense, almost as a way of showcasing their lack of pretentiousness, which in and of itself is, of course, a bit pretentious. We're doing our best. I personally think it's legitimately great. It may not be in my top 10, but every time I make one at work, I'm always eager to straw taste it. One final thought, while being delicious and having an eye-catching color, was a key to the Cosmopolitan's success, the biggest factor that led to it spreading like wildfire may have been in name, especially when you consider it was the original modern classic cocktail. From about the 1960s through the late 80s, the cocktails were seen as a thing of the past. Enjoyable, sure, but a fixture of their parents' and grandparents' generation. The Cosmopolitan, a word that evokes all things cultured, fashionable, and stylish, suggests that there are more to be explored in the cocktail realm, and that cocktails could be a thing of today's generation. Thank goodness for that. So let's raise Cosmo to the Cosmo. Where would cocktails be without it? I have to agree. And especially with that last paragraph talking about this idea that cocktails were a thing of our parents' and grandparents' generation. That is all the reason why we should be bringing it back. I mean, one could argue that a fedora is a thing of the past. This is not the original, but one in this very much style was my grandfather's. That's the hat that I was wearing when I first started my channel. And I wear it to honor him, and I wear it because it's, let's face it, it's kind of classy. And I could use all the classing up I can get, right? But then again, you know, I look and I see Sin's Corner in the chat, and then I see Wilkie's Movies and Music, who we're going to be going over to and saying hi to in about 25 minutes. or a little bit sooner. When I wrap up the stream, you will be shot over to his channel, where I want you all to hit the like button and the subscribe button. He is about 40 subscribers away from that big magical number that makes it potentially viable for this this whole streaming thing to be something useful in life. So let's help him get there. And if you are already subscribed when you get there, share out the stream and tell other people to subscribe to it. Together we grow, right? So I am curious, and I haven't, I'm still evolving this this whole liquid lunch thing and the themed days of the week. And so I haven't really asked this, but I probably should. Just as when we watch a movie together and then we ask, had anyone seen this movie before? Or was this the first time watching it? Has anyone here in the chat ever had a Cosmopolitan? And what did you think of it? Bring it all back. My grandparents always would my grandpa would always throw on his fedora when going to church. Exactly. If I wear a suit, I wear a fedora. I always. And there's a very practical reason for it too. I'm a bald guy, so I need to keep it warm in the winter, and I need to keep the sun off of it in the summertime. Always, though, it looked classy, especially for a farmer. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. My mom is getting a pacemaker put in today, just releasing some of my stress about that by letting you guys know. It's been heavy on my mind. Totally understand. And this is really what Fridays are about, right? Whether it's having a drink or just getting together with friends and decompressing from whatever has stressed you out during the week. I just got some news about a friend who is not in very good health. And it's not sitting too well with me. I mean, I knew she was going into the hospital. She was going through surgery. She'd gotten out of surgery. But she's older, and it's kind of bothered me today. So we need to look out for each other, and we need to have a great deal of compassion. I think a little bit of compassion goes a long way, and I think that's a big part of what my whole thought behind last call was. We just had a guy on yesterday on Netter's Network. He does comics, but one of the nice things he said about Netter's show and our channels in general is that he loves the community and he thinks we're such nice people. I don't think of myself as a nice person. I just think of myself as someone who treats people the way he wants to be treated. And that, I guess that's not as common as it used to be. But what is community but people kind of coming together and supporting each other, even if that's just listening and giving a pat on the back, Netter has had Cosmos before. They're okay. Not a drink I would go to on purpose. Yeah, exactly. I get you. That seemed to be what the writer of this article was saying too. Absolutely. Prayers for your mom. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Wilkie's Music. And see, this, I love this. This encourages me. I'm glad this is happening here on my channel. This all happened while I was still out of state, so it was pretty stressful. Yeah. And it messes with your head, right? Because you're like, well, what could I really do if I was there? But the fact that you're not there makes it that much worse. Because there is something you could do. You could be there, you could hold her hand, you could, whatever. Encourage the family, But what can you do? You can't teleport. If you just have to take it as it comes. I guess that's kind of a summation of what life is. I guess. I had news of a couple friends and relatives of friends in serious and critical condition yesterday. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. USRNG, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Always good when you stop in. Yes, I love this community of fellow film lovers here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Lynn. That's good to hear. I really do appreciate you guys supporting each other. I'm going to give another thought about the Cosmopolitan. It's made with cranberry juice, right? And I think we most commonly associate cranberries with Thanksgiving. And it's got that cranberry flavor that I do kind of associate with the holiday season, like, November. So that's when I usually think about the Cosmopolitan. If I'm going to have a Cosmopolitan, it will probably be right around Thanksgiving, And I think that's another thing. I think, as with most fashions, with most trends and so forth, when do things catch on? They catch on for a whole number of reasons, but what keeps them with you is oftentimes some sort of an annual tradition, right? I think there's a lot. We talk about this with a lot of different drinks, but we talk about this with a lot of foods as well. We associate certain foods with certain holidays, right? Pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, turkey, right? Stuffing, turkey gravy. These are all things that in the United States we've come to associate with Thanksgiving. Could you make these things at any time of year? Yes, you absolutely can. But I do feel like if you do, they kind of lose their specialness. Because when you smell that turkey cooking, you are immediately transported to the holidays. And at the holidays, it helps you get into that spirit, I think. I'm not necessarily making the appeal, only drink a Cosmopolitan at Thanksgiving. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I see where someone could have that thought process to it. Netter's right. Community does equal family. Right. It absolutely is. Cranberry juice. Ha! Always think of the Leo scene in The Departed. Ooh. Yeah. Good point. And let's give a bit of a salute to actors that never break character until the director says cut. That's professional. But that is about all that I have on the Cosmo. I will definitely be drinking some very strong Cosmos tonight because, again, tonight I really need to decompress. So I'm hoping you guys, if you have the time and the will and the interest, please join Netter and Boomer and myself tonight for Last Call at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We will be continuing our look at the movies of 1985. There are some great ones. We focused last week on the summer blockbusters, and we realized there were so many great movies that came out in 85, we had to expand it. As we're looking at it, Boomer is thinking we might actually have to go to 3 weeks. 3 weeks in 1985, maybe. You guys come and tell me what you think tonight. But right now, stay through the credits. So all of you members can see your names up there on the screen, just as an expression of my appreciation for you supporting this community the way you do. And then you will be auto-dramatically pole vaulted over to Wilkie's Movies and Music, this guy right here, for his, and I keep messing up the name of the show. It's the afternoon, lunch, cinema, whatever. It's going to be awesome. Get over there and tell him you're coming from a last call raid, so that I sound like I'm somebody and important and useful. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Whatever you're sipping on, I hope you enjoy it. You guys take care. Don't hit the wrong button or like I did last night, or there won't be any closing credits. You'll just suddenly be there in Wilkie's movie den. Thank you, Natter. Thank you, all of you. Have a great one. Take care. Hope to see you later tonight. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.